Welcome back to Compai's Expat Channel. I'm Compai. I am Sosoa's voice of reason. Here we talk everything expat. Today, why the Dominican Republic doesn't have real estate bubbles like the United States. Welcome to Compai's Expat Channel. Everything expat. What is a housing bubble? A housing bubble is a sustained but temporary condition of overvalued prices and rampant speculation in the housing market. That, my friends, is the best definition that I found to explain a housing bubble. I like that definition. Why do you not see that down here in the Dominican Republic? Why? Well, let's talk about how real estate is bought down here in the Dominican Republic versus the United States. The first thing that happens is you get approved for a loan. From that loan approval, you know your budget. Then with that budget, you go house shopping. Down here in the DR, people come down here with cash. Then they go house shopping. Yes, that villa fits my budget. No, that villa is overpriced. Wow, I would really love to be on that condo on the beach, but I can't afford it, so let me go inland a little bit. That's how it's bought. So how is real estate sold? Well, there's a couple similarities. Back home in the United States and Canada, you have real estate agents that list your property, show people your property. They come in, pre-approved for a loan. You put an offer in, accept it, boom, you go to settlement. Down here, it's a little bit the same way. You got agents will show you your property. You come to terms of agreement on the price of the property. You go to settlement, you buy it. But most of the time, there's no bank involved. There's no loan. It's a cash deal. And that means a lot, guys, because it's hard to get speculation when it's your own money. If you're playing speculating with the bank's money, people will do it. So what? I lose the house. I didn't put $300,000 on it. I got $40,000. Nobody wants to lose it, but it's easier to gamble with the house's money than your money. So down here with it being more cash and carry, people are in a different financial situation. They're not taking loans to purchase these properties. It's their money. So if you got $300,000 to come down here and buy a villa in a nice gated community, you're going to make sure you have enough money to sustain that. If you're buying a condo for your future retirement, like I did, now they might have a home equity line of credit from their bank in the United States tied to their home residence. I've done that. I've done that with Casa De Compai when I first bought it. That's how I did units 1, 2, and 3. Makes sense. But you got to be able to make sure you carry that note. So when they're selling properties down here, do you got the money? Is the money sitting in the attorney's bank account? Okay, let's go to settlement. Boom. Easy peasy. So why don't you see that bubble bursting down here like you do in the States? Because I think the States is already going through a housing correction, especially in markets that were overinflated after COVID, like Florida, for example. We don't see that when the economy downturns. We don't see the level of foreclosures like you would see back in the States. You don't see the banks taking over properties down here. People can ride a downturn in the market down here easier because they don't have a mortgage to worry about. Most of the places down here, it's all paid for. So what do they have to worry about? They got to worry about paying their HOA fees. Most people down here don't even pay property taxes because it falls under the threshold that they don't have to. And if they have to pay property taxes, it's nothing. If you don't have the banks taking over these foreclosures, the banks ain't flooding the houses when the economy turns. You have people who aren't working in the local economy. They're working overseas, so they can afford to pay that $200-300 a month HOA fee. So things don't have the burst like they do. Now, we've seen a real run up in prices since COVID down here. And if you know anything about the rental market down here and buying and selling, when we do go into a downturn, things go flat. You might see prices stay the same for 8 years. I've seen that. How I see the real estate going, I think it's going to go flat for a while. I still think it's going to be very strong, especially with the Canadians coming down here, selling their properties in Canada at such a great profit that they're able to come down here, buy an American house in American dollars, take a hit on a horrible exchange rate, and still have enough money to pay cash for that house and have a lifestyle down here. That's who's driving the market right now, in my personal opinion, is the Canadians that are retiring. But people always say, John, but I see fire sales on Facebook all the time. You're going to see more of them come up. Absolutely. Because as I believe the economy gets worse in the United States, I believe it's going to get worse because of the amount of dollars that have been printed in the last 6 years, especially since COVID. The American dollar is losing value quickly. As the value of the American dollar falls, the American consumer is getting poorer. The American consumer is having a hard time paying his bills at home, so that means he's not going to come down here and take a vacation. And if you've been in tune to what's been going on in Sosua from July, August, September, first 2 weeks of October have been slow. That doesn't mean you're going to see all these properties start flooding the market. What you're going to see somebody who is in trouble back home on their home equity line of credit that's tied to their property that they used to buy down here. They will unload the property down here to save their property back north. So that's when you'll see that Facebook posting, fire sale, or you'll see owner financing 5-year. You'll see a lot of that. And I think you're going to see more of that happening. The reason we don't have the bubbles is because we don't have bank loans inflating that bubble. When it's a cash and carry business, it's harder to inflate it. It stays stagnant a lot longer than it takes to inflate it. What I've seen in real estate down here, it has growth spurts. 3-5 years, boom, things get valued, then they plateau, then they stay there for a period of time, and then they'll jump up again. And what my opinion is, what you're usually seeing is the house correcting to the overall inflation in the world and demand. You cannot deny Sosua for real estate is in serious demand. So you have those two things working to drive up prices. Even with all the construction, it's still strong. There's one other thing before I end this video that I think is huge, where I do think in 5 years, you're going to start to see banks taking over properties. I don't agree with what the banks are doing now. I call it a wealth transfer. Most Americans don't understand money. They don't know how money works. All they know how to do is pay their bills. That's why when I said earlier, most people get the loan that they can afford, not the loan that's best financially for them. It's all based on that monthly payment. The banks down here are now giving out 5-year balloon mortgages, which is absolutely nuts. Crazy. What is a 5-year balloon? Basically, they're going to give you a loan based on a 5-year amortization, 5-year loan payment amount. But when the end of that 5 years is done, you're going to have to pay the balance of that loan. The amortization could be based on a 15-year loan, but you're going to have to pay it off in 5. Most people are not going to be able to do that because most people buy a monthly payment. If you're going to do that, you better have enough money sitting in the bank to be able to pay off that loan. What I don't like about these loans is they have you behind the 8 ball. You are putting yourself in debt with only two options: refinance that loan or pay it off. I believe these banks are counting on you not being able to pay it off. So they're going to take that property back. And down here, it's done super quick. So if you're going to get into this 5-year balloon, make sure during that life of that 5-year loan, you improve your credit score, you reduce your debt, and so you can qualify for another loan. Or make enough money to pay that loan off, because you do not want to have to go into that bank with a hat in hand saying, listen, I can't pay this back. What can we do? They're not in business to help you. They're in business to look out for their better business. And giving you a loan that may not be in the bank's interest is not going to happen. So I think in 5 years, you're going to see stuff start coming on the market for that. So if you're the investor and you're looking to get in some property like this guy, I love property, you're going to get some deals. That's going to help, I don't want to say reduce the prices overall, but it's going to be a good investment opportunity for people who are prepared. So if you're looking to get into the market, be ready in 5 years. Do your homework. Get yourself squared away, because I also think you're going to see more fire sales coming up on just Facebook Marketplace. I see it all the time. You're going to see must sell, owner financing. You're going to see all that. So we don't have the boom bust. So if you're waiting for that big market correction down here, keep waiting, because we don't have the things. We have the speculation, we have the demand, but we don't have the bank money coming in to fund it. It's all personal money. That changes everything. Guys, thanks for watching. Remember, keep private personal, personal private. Peace out.